Good afternoon. We interrupt your regular programming to bring you news just in. Ghana's bilateral creditors, known collectively as the Paris Club, have just given Ghana financial assurance. Now, this is an important step in Ghana's bid to acquire a bailout from the IMF. In October 2022, the IMF gave Ghana a staff-level agreement. The next step is to be a board-level agreement, at which point Ghana will be able to access $3 billion of balance of payments support. This latest news from the Paris Club means there are no further impediments to the IMF's consideration of Ghana for a bailout. George Viafe from Joy Business joins us with more detail. George, this just came in this afternoon. Give us details of what this actually means. So
let's first start with the financial assurance, and that is the Paris Club made up of our traditional bilateral creditors. And Kojo, one interesting thing that many were looking forward to was whether China was going to be part of this whole creditor committee or not. Now, they are not just part of it, but they are co-chairing with Paris or France in terms of being chairing of this committee. So what the IMF had previously communicated to us was that they are just looking for that financing assurance of participating in our program or agreeing that they are committed to restructuring Ghana's debt, which could possibly even lead to the cancellation of our debts. And that was what the IMF said. We are waiting for that. It wasn't just a communication. It could be in the form of a letter or a memorandum of understanding, which they have jointly issued at the end of their first official meeting that they had just today. And apparently, just when we were trying to put our notes together, the IMF managing director has also issued a statement giving more details about what this actually means. And Kojo, if you go through, you see that it's even already on our screen, and in terms of more details about what this means and all the rest, in terms of what she's trying to give the much details as well as with respect to this program, Kojo.
So it includes a quote from Ms. Kristalina Georgieva, who is the managing director of the IMF. Here's the quote. It says, "I welcome the statement from the official creditor committee for Ghana on the importance of an IMF-supported economic program, together with its commitment to negotiate debt restructuring terms accordingly. This statement provides the necessary financing assurances for the IMF Executive Board to consider the proposed fund-supported program and unlock much-needed financing from Ghana's development partners. I also strongly endorse the call by the Official Creditor Committee for private creditors and other official bilateral creditors to commit to comparable debt treatments. The Creditor Committee's action recognizes the Ghanaian authorities' strong reform program, which aims to restore macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability while laying the foundation for an inclusive recovery. It also signals that further progress is being made under the G20 Common Framework, demonstrating that international partners are ready to work together to help countries resolve their debt issues. This is vital to enable countries such as Ghana achieve sustainable growth and poverty reduction." This is, of course, all to the background of...
And could you, committing to this financing program itself, there are two things. It will come in the form of fresh funding to Ghana or a cancellation of debt. So this is just the first step in this whole discussion about Ghana's debt. That could lead to our debt being cancelled, or that could lead to fresh funding to Ghana's program. And then for someone, the layman on the street, what does it mean? What does it mean? It means that we've met all the requirements that is set to take Ghana to the board for the end. I know they are being very more careful with the choice of words to consider Ghana's program. The date we were initially picking was that it could happen on Tuesday, it could happen on Wednesday, and consider Ghana's program and get Ghana's program approved. And Kojo, studying the fund and even engaging those who have knowledge about this whole transactions, that it could happen that if the program is approved today, the disbursement could come in the next 2 or 3 days to the account of the Bank of Ghana. Don't forget that the $3 billion that is coming is supposed to go directly to the Bank of Ghana to support Ghana's balance of payment needs. So it's not meant for Ghana to spend as in consumption and ensure that we have enough dollar reserves to finance imports and all the rest. The World Bank is going to come on board additional funding to support other projects that have been identified in our budget as well, Kojo.
Yeah, the two options being considered by the Paris Club, as you described, are either to forgive debt or to provide us with additional funding.
They made some very, very important statements in there, as well as bringing private creditors also on board.
Absolutely.
And that could be our Eurobond holders as well, whether they will agree to possibly restructuring the debt or cancellation of our debt, could you?
At the moment, a large portion of our revenue is spent on debt servicing. So any kind of debt forgiveness would be the releasing of a burden on Ghana's government. Does Ghana have to do anything at this point, or are they still supposed to? Are we still supposed to simply wait, sit on our hands, and see how this process
unfolds? I think that right
unfolds?
now, if you are in government, it's more fingers crossed. Listen, Kojo, I mean, the official statements are coming just to confirm what has already transpired. In terms of documentation, we understand that everything has been done for it to be presented to the IMF board. What some will say is that they will now be pushing for an official date. Even though Ghana, as of 2 weeks ago, there wasn't an official date. What we picked up was that they were working towards the 17th of May. Now, if you look at the IMF schedule, some will say that was supposed to be either Togo and Luxembourg, I understand. But my understanding was that if it gets critical, Ghana could be added, or a country could be taken out and Ghana put in. So what it means, and could you listen, I mean, it could tell you from the statement that the IMF MD issued right now, means that this was not just done today. I mean, when the Paris Club just came out with their statement, the MD also issued the statement. It means that certain things have been done behind the scenes, just waiting to tick the box for us to get our program considered, Kojo.
George, thank you so much for breaking it all down. So that's news just in. Under the co-chairship of China and France, Ghana's bilateral creditors have agreed to a financing assurance for Ghana, which means there is now no impediment in the way of the IMF considering Ghana's bailout program. The IMF boss has herself called on other creditors, private creditors, to follow suit so that Ghana will be properly poised for this bailout. More information will be available to you on myjoyonline.com and in subsequent bulletins. Thank you for watching.